Hello, it's Lori Hanson, the Success Whisperer. I'm here with a tip to share with you for my weekly wisdom. Have you ever talked about someday I'm going to do that, or someday I'm going to do this, someday I want to do that? Do you realize how quickly someday comes? Now, I'm not talking about this in terms of, oh yeah, someday I've got to get that done. That's there as well. Hopefully you're not procrastinating too much, remembering from our tip last week, and waiting to get something done. But I'm also, for me personally, want to share a story with you today of a someday that came so much quicker than I ever thought it could. And that is this. In 2014, when I was at the lowest point of my entire life and actually wondered if I was going to fall through the cracks, I got introduced to a book. I had enough money on a credit card to buy that $7 Kindle version and found out that I could download Kindle, I should say, for free to my laptop. And as I started to read this book, it was like water to a flower in the desert. It was exactly what I've been looking for, exactly the wisdom I wanted. And I stayed up all night and read that book and was so inspired. And at the end of the book, this individual gave one piece of advice that really changed the trajectory for me, because I kept trying to do it all on my own. I kept knowing it was going to work out. I kept thinking any minute. And by following the advice that this individual gave me, I really was able to start to rebuild my life. I found out what my purpose for being on this planet really is, and made a huge difference in my life in the course of 4 short years. But the other thing, and what I want to share with you tonight, is when I read this book and I found out that this individual had a coaching program, I said, someday I'm going to coach with him. Someday I'm going to take that program. When I went to Hawaii in November, I took one business book with me, and it happened to be this one. And I didn't pick it up until I was at the airport ready to come home, and I started reading it. Within 5 pages, it was like, this is it. It's time. I think I looked, and his program started in February. So I signed up. I am beginning to coach with this individual in February. And let me tell you, this someday came so much faster than I ever imagined it could. Here's another thing I want to share with you, though. This is something that I put out there. It's something I wanted to do, something that has been kind of in the back of my mind, but it's not something that I visualized every day. It's not something that I necessarily had right top and center. I did make a note last year when I was creating my goals in 2018 that this was someone I wanted to coach with. And here I am. I'm really excited. I want you to think about what it is that you want to do someday. And I want you to entertain the thought that someday can show up a heck of a lot quicker than you may think. And just by being aware, so for me, it was being in that place where I was reading that book and boom, all of a sudden there it was. It's time to coach with him. In order for that to happen, you've got to slow down, you've got to be in tune, and you've got to listen to the messages and the flags that are there for you. Well, this is just a very personal story that I wanted to share with you to encourage you to remember that someday can come a heck of a lot quicker than you might think. This is Lori Hanson, the Success Whisperer, and I am here to support you in all of your goals and to help you reach the highest level of success that you desire. Take care.